I wrote an article earlier about my issues with Valentine's Day, in which I challenged all of us to shift the focus to taking radical accountability for our own capacity to love. In that spirit, I'd like to share with you what I've learned about love through living with 40 other people for over 3 years. For those who don't know, I reside in Oregon on an 87-acre piece of land that belongs to a group of 40-ish of us. We call ourselves Meadowsong Eco Village, and we work together to run Lost Valley Education Center, helping the world learn about sustainability. I still remember the way my body felt when I arrived over 3 years ago. Shaky, trembling, tired. I was a refugee fleeing a sick society. I'd experienced many versions of love, almost all of them very influenced by the sickness of the culture. I wanted something different. Little did I know just how different my life and heart were about to become. The agreements we've made together as a community are based on the basic principle of consent. This value alone has changed so much for me. I sit in rooms, around hookahs, in mediations, in ceremony, and generally just function in a world built on the idea that I matter. My needs and comfort levels, in combination with every other person's, matter. More than matter, the foundation of our social and operational structure is built on working together through consent to create a world we all feel comfortable in. I hadn't fully realized how deeply the sickness of non-consent in the larger society had damaged me. I arrived thinking that it would always be a struggle to be seen and heard, that I would always feel like an outcast and just too sensitive to live successfully in the world, until my tribe provided a different way, a more loving way, through consent. Before arriving to community, I was lonely a lot, even in partnership, in the workplace, in motherhood. I couldn't shake this feeling of aloneness. Even still, for the first year, I spent much of my time alone, not fully understanding or embracing that I lived with dozens of other wonderful individuals. It wasn't until the partnership I was in when I arrived combusted that I started to connect out of sheer necessity. As I sit here and write, I find myself taking big breaths of gratitude. I could stand up right now, put my shoes on, and walk literally 1 minute in any direction and run into someone I genuinely care about. And if I felt extra energy, I could walk 3 minutes and find someone to work beside. This is my reality for roughly 18 hours a day all year, and it is magic. By the nature of our tribe, we are together nearly all the time. We eat together, we laugh together, we make rules and navigate laws together. We birth people and art together. We mourn loss and death together. Sometimes it is insanity-making, but most of the time it is one of the most beautiful experiences I ever expect to have. This togetherness, through our use of consent and radical responsibility, is another facet of love. Boy, this is a biggie. Trust has been something I've looked for my whole life and never fully felt until now. We see it all the time. Folks arrive here and are royally screwed by a deeply untrustworthy world. People, myself included, come here with ideas about authority and possession and separateness, fed by the very real experiences they've had in the larger world. Here, every day, we sit together and figure out how best to keep our little village running and peaceful. Sometimes we have very different opinions on how things are done, but we always work through it. Through that process, over time, each of us develops a trust for the group. We trust the others in our circles to stand up if they see or even feel that something isn't right, just as we each know we have the responsibility to do the same. And each of us is honored and listened to as a deeply trustworthy and capable member of our group. This trust cultivates a feeling, a deep bond of love. We look into each other's shining eyes and see ourselves reflected with love, shining back at us. How many umpteen times have I felt broken or abnormal in my life? It's endless, as many moments of sad otherness as there are stars overhead. This changed over time as I integrated with the tribe. At first, it was slow going due to my internal need to be the best. In fact, in the first several group meetings I went to, whenever I was challenged or proved quote-unquote wrong, I would feel myself get hot and embarrassed. I wanted to dig a hole to hide in. I believed if these people saw me as imperfect, I would be shunned or mistrusted. What I learned is that the village didn't judge me for my shortcomings. In fact, they held me and celebrated me for my growth. I can't count the number of times I've arrived imperfectly. Okay, a complete mess. To a person or the group doubting and hating myself. Only had to have the others smile and hug me. They offer reflections based in a heart-centered version of reality that my sensitive soul is still learning to thrive in. My tribe lifts me up and loves me, not for who I think I am, but who they see me as, my highest self. I am more than accepted. I am perfectly loved. In this moment, I'm writing with tears streaming down my face. I don't know how to fully share the impact the tribe has made on my understanding of love and my ability to express it. What I do know is that my heart is overflowing, and my soul is infinitely grateful for this immeasurable gift. Okay, so I have to put this out there too. Living in community is not easy. I don't want folks thinking they can just move to an intentional community and the group will heal or fix them, or that everything will automatically be hunky-dory. That is not at all the way it works. Showing up imperfectly, as all of humans are, is okay, but only when you have the capability to see yourself and your shadow enough to have a healthy relationship with the community. Love flows to and through the individual from the community, but the individual has to be able to be a healthy part of the love cycle, a heart-centered symbiosis of giving and receiving. Okay, just a little note to end this. I just want to give a shout out of thank you to my tribe. I am absolutely not the same person who came here 3.5 years ago. The radical love and trust and accountability and this very different world we've created here has changed me. And I don't have enough words to say thank you. But thank you, and I love you.